We're grateful that you join us on the Situation Room on Citi TV. We broadcast this program for you every Thursday. We are gauging the mood for you ahead of the elections of 2024 and beyond. Everything politics is in this particular room, the Situation Room. And today, we had scheduled to discuss the NDC for you, and discuss NDC we shall. And the critical issues that have arisen over the week are very important. I do radio program talking about current affairs. Bernard also on radio doing current affairs. We both have television shows. We do current affairs. So this NDC matter has come up on our various platforms. We're just going to quickly take you through the major issues that have surrounded the NDC's internal elections slated for this weekend. Bernard, I think you should take it first.
Yes, so if you were watching the show prior to this show, we were replaying my show on Wednesday night.
Point of view.
Where we were not sure whether on Saturday there was going to be an election. I interviewed Mustafa Gbande and Edem Antonio Asinyo, and I compared the interview with your interview with Gbande the day before, and then your interview with Pablo.
Yes.
Trying to make sense of the situation.
Yes.
So this is what we know. The political season is well and truly here. That's number one. Number two, the courts will play a very important role in what is happening. What are the key issues? Dr. Kwabena Duffour's camp say they are not happy with the quality of the voter album register. They call it the photo album register given to them. So what have I gleaned from the interviews? There are two documents. According to Gbande, there is a primary document which was given to all candidates and their reps 6 weeks ago. That document is a list of names. According to him, this has been the document they've used for elections, and I think Pablo confirmed it in the interview with you as well.
That's what elected him.
Good. But they're saying for this particular election, they have an additional document, which is what they call the photo album diary or photo album register, which is not just a list of names, but names with photographs of people. So if they say Umaru Sanda, Shai Osudoku, near the mosque, they want to be sure it's you,
yes,
and not your cousin.
Evidence-based.
Fantastic. Now, this is where the problem is. So they requested, Dr. Duffour's team requested for the photo album, which they say was given in bits and pieces. Now, there are 275 constituencies. So you expect 275 constituencies. They said the party was ready with 228. So this is Alex Egbefie's group, the election committee. So Dr. Duffour has three problems. He says, number one, you gave me 228 as against 275. The time you gave me the 228 is very close to the election. Be that as it may, I started checking to verify or validate this 228 with the list we all have. And I noticed that it's actually only 220 you gave me. So there are 8 missing. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, maybe, and I'll move here to make that even easier. The problem number two is that in the 220 that you have, there are some 75,000 or so names that I don't know where they are from.
Strangers.
I see those names in the photo. I don't see them in the list. Third problem, there's another 3,000 people we expect to see we are not seeing. All right? So they're saying this photo album register is incomplete and is flawed. And that if we were to go ahead and vote on Saturday, the 3,000 people will be disenfranchised, the 75,000 people don't know where they're coming from, and we don't also have the rest of the 55. So what are they telling the court to do? A lot of things. They are saying, injunct the process. They've applied to the court to say, look, I am an interested party, I am a candidate, I want you to stop the process and command the NDC, and that's the word they use, command the NDC
to fix the problem,
to give me the right photo album register.
Okay.
Number two, they should give it to me 5 clear weeks to the election so I can study it properly, and then obviously rectify the anomalies in the original register, if any. And then if there are any costs, let the people who I have served this thing on pay. So the first defendant is the General Secretary, Fifi Agwekete. Second defendant is the Director of Elections, Alex Egbefia. And then he has also then served, he has also served the other candidates. So John Mahama and Kojo Bonsu. And then he has added the EC, because the EC is the one running the election. So this is what Dr. Duffour is asking. So this is a lot of grammar, but basically Dr. Duffour's team is saying if the elections were held on Saturday, the register is flawed. So this photo album that in fact, let me go back and show you. So they're basically saying a declaration that the photo album issued by Fifi Kwete and Alex Befia is, as the primary document for the conducting of the elections, is incomplete and inaccurate.
So he's not suing the party. The party is not on the list. There is general secretary.
Yes, because these are functions performed by specific individuals within the party. So declare. So then you see, the reason is interesting that you are saying that the electoral commission, so the court should declare that the register is incomplete and inaccurate. So you're asking them to do a technical job.
Okay,
right?
I find it, I would have sued the party, but of course, they have legal team, and so I'm just wondering, because the party is a vehicle that has given these officers the roles to play.
Yeah.
So sue the party, let the general secretary represent the party as the administrator of the party.
It's the same thing. I don't think it's that.
So suing him...
Because the party's constitution allows for the election committee to be the custodian of this.
Of the process.
Right. So they're also saying that the order should then direct the general secretary and the director of elections to prepare and deliver a complete and accurate photo album register to the plaintiff and other aspirants. So they are fighting for...
So, okay. So, Bernard, there are a few things, and this morning on the Citi Breakfast Show, you were trying to dissect the issues. And Sky was helping you. If an application or injunction application is filed, does it automatically injunct the party, or it means you wait till the court says you have been injuncted? What is the interpretation?
So, I mean, look, you can talk to 10 lawyers and get 2 different answers. I can say the various people who contributed to the program, about 70% of them thought that once an injunction application is filed and a party like the EC, who, by the way, are the subject of the third relief, that the injunction should restrain first, second, and fifth EC from conducting the internal presidential election. So according to these lawyers, if a process has been initiated to injunct a process or an activity or an
automatically
action, if you were to go ahead to perform that action, you would then render the judgment or the decision about the injunction nugatory. You will negate it. You will make it useless. So they're saying that conventionally, and they quote a number of cases, including the recent GFA versus Goldfields case, and then they also quote, incidentally, a Bank of Ghana versus Duffour case, which was a Supreme Court case. So I can say about 70% of the lawyers we interacted with thought that the EC was right in saying, once we've seen this injunction, we cannot proceed.
So the majority view is that when the process is filed and served on you, you're automatically injuncted. You have to wait for the court to hear. The party has been trying to navigate its way around this because it's a big Congress. This is something that was planned months, if not years ago. And they've decided that they're going to do it on Saturday. And unlike the MPP, they're going to do everything on one day. So we have a presidential candidate and a parliamentary candidate across the country. Now, the party, I'm sure, did not see this coming, even though they were having back and forth. Speaking yesterday to Pablo Jojo Parado, he gave me the indication that it is almost like Dr. Kwabena Duffour was exhibiting bad faith, because you asked for A, we're supplying with A. You asked for B, we were working towards giving you B. And then you showed up in court immediately after our meeting, and then you serve us with this rate. They thought that that was not good. So another inside information we had was that they would go to court, beg the court or pray the court to bring the hearing of Monday, 15th May, back or forward, rather.
Exactly. So that's what the NDC is asking for. So what the NDC actually asked for 2 things, and you are correct. NDC is saying that, look, the election is supposed to be on Saturday. And let's be clear, the court chose the date based on the lawyers and the registrar's decision. So this is not the judge. We don't even know if a judge has been appointed, right? So NDC is saying, look, we are asking for an abridgment of time. We're saying, bring the matter to Friday, and we believe that based on the arguments we put forth, we can resolve the matters so that Saturday still comes on. Because, and look at point 2, in the likely event that the instant application is granted, the plaintiff will not be prejudiced in any way, and also no harm will be caused. So you're saying that, look, if you do the thing on Friday, Dr. Duffour is not going to suffer. So Monday is not like germane to the case. That's the first point. Then they're also saying, look, in the interest of justice, let me go to the second one. Now, they now respond to Dr. Duffour, right? They're talking about the actions they took, because don't forget, Dr. Duffour's team is claiming, even in their statement of claim, that, look, we wrote to the General Secretary, he didn't respond. Our Director of Research sent a WhatsApp requesting for a correction of the mistakes. We didn't get a response. Bande's response is that, look, we were working with you in a meeting to resolve the matter. We didn't have written to you. So the NDC is now responding. So what is clear is that I think arguments will be heard tomorrow. What we do not know is that even if you hear the arguments, will the judge be minded to say, let me make a decision on Friday? Or let me make a decision on Monday? But I feel like once the court has agreed to abridge time on the basis that the election is supposed to be on Saturday, it will be absurd to say, let me hear the case on Friday and then decide on Monday. So I think tomorrow, a lot of people will be in court to listen to the arguments. Now, two things. Dr. Duffour taking NDC to court suggests lack of trust for the party executive because there are internal processes that have to be addressed. It also shows that the internal processes could not resolve the matter. Because when I speak to Dr. Duffour's people, the impression is created that we did our best to get this resolved. And the party is also saying we're on the process of resolving it. So it points to you that there appears to be a lack of trust between the Duffour team and the leadership of the party organizing the election.
But you see, I also noticed that it is not, even though Duffour is the one who has his name on the rate, Kojo Bonsu is also an interested party, and even though he has not joined him legally in court, his team is joining Dr. Duffour's action and saying that they want a transparent election to be held.
We don't know if they've joined. You see, when you use the word join.
No, I'm saying they've not joined legally.
Yes, so they are saying that, I mean, Kojo Bonsu is doing what he has to do. He has to be relevant. He says, look, if the issue has not been resolved, resolve it. If Kojo Bonsu were aggrieved, he would have gone to court. He's not in court. Yeah. So he's a bit ambivalent in my view. They are saying, yes, there are issues that have to resolve the issue. Because it was possible for Kojo Bonsu to have filed an amicus curiae to say, I'm an interested party. In fact, he has been served.
No, he can file a joinder application,
yes,
which means that I'm an interested party.
That's my point. So he hasn't done that. So I feel like Kojo Bonsu's position is not really cast in stone. He's basically saying, if the guy has a problem, solve it so that we can move on.
But my point is that he has, through his communicators, said that they agree with what Duffour is doing.
But wouldn't you?
Yes, so I'm saying that it means it's two against, maybe the two
I don't think you can,
out of the three
I don't
candidates.
think you can, we can, I don't think it's 2 against 1. Because he's already been brought into the case as a defendant. So he's just saying that I want the matter to be resolved so we can move on. Yeah. If he felt aggrieved, as you said...
So because he didn't put pen to paper and say that I have a problem with ABC, but grants an interview on Eyewitness and says, I associate with Dr. Duffour. Okay, that's fine.
So NDC says, I don't want to go into all the arguments, but what we are saying to viewers is a very important point, that from a political side, there's a trust issue. All right? And, it's important because John Mahama in Upper West Region, if you listen to the news on Wednesday, he said the track record of NDC in the past when it comes to internal elections is that when a losing candidate supporters want to come and join the winning candidate, they are ostracized by the winning candidate supporters. So he's declaring that if he wins, all the supporters of the other contenders can work with him. And he said this on Tuesday. It was played on Wednesday. Now you have this impasse, which possibly could lead to, in my view, an ostracization of Dr. Duffour's team. Because when I interviewed Edem yesterday and I interviewed Bande, I got the impression that there is a lot of mistrust between Dr. Duffour's team and the party executive. So whoever wins, whatever happens, the NDC has a lot of work to do in terms of mending its own internal fences. Because the tone of those who have gone to court appears to be that of saying these guys don't want to do a fair thing. And the party is like, what else can we do? We are trying to solve. They are even like, how on earth are you in court? We are resolving this. So they are so far apart.
I know another thing, usually political parties don't like to be sued by members.
Yes.
They say that deal with everything internally. In fact, if you go to the courts, it's almost like you put the party's image into disrepute, all of these things.
Yeah.
I don't know what the party's action would be against Duffour later. Yesterday when I interviewed Pablo, I tried to extract that from him, but he said Duffour did not breach any rule.
No, don't forget that this is a very important point. You see, you're right. Political parties in Ghana are not very internally democratic. And I can argue this everywhere. A lot of the times they bully particularly parliamentary candidates, aspirants who want to go against established incumbents. But this is different. Dr. Duffour is a former governor, former finance minister, and he has money. Now, even if he loses, NDC will still need his money. So you don't expect Pablo to come on air and come and tell you that Dr. Duffour will be ostracized. They have to tread very cautiously. So this is actually a good test for the party's internal coherence and for their tolerance of dissent. Because a party that took the EC to court after election 2020 should not frown on an internal court process. So if they are to be true to their stated democratic credentials, they should allow the process to go through.
So Duffour is not some small guy in the party that you can...
There's a different type of person. He's not, because I don't know.
So this is the best person who can actually challenge the process.
Which is why his people want to push this, because he is not some guy who's just emerged from somewhere. This is actually a true blue NDC person from NDC's nemesis, the Ashanti region, which, again, as I mentioned to you, almost all the candidates, apart from Mahama and Bawumia, have Ashanti region leanings. So they have to be very careful how they manage him.
My last concern before we take a break, the Electoral Commission statement saying that we cannot do it for you on Saturday, we are injuncted. The court may sit on Friday, but I have heard variously been reported that the EC's Director of Elections has said, Kwaku, that whether or not the court decides for the NDC tomorrow, they can still not go ahead with the elections on Saturday.
I haven't heard him, but if you read the chairperson's statement, it appears they have a history already of preparation for the election. So that will possibly go against what Mr. Kweku is quoted to have said, because if you listen to Mrs. Jane Mensah, she's saying that we've been working towards this election, and we've gotten here and we've seen the process. So we'll wait and respect the court process. You can't say you had a few meetings and be planning only to say that because of a 3-day break, you can't organize an election. But again, I didn't hear him myself, so I don't know whether that's the case.